Hello, welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of How to Train Your Dragon 2. I loved this movie. I didn't really enjoy, I didn't really like, I didn't think it was a nice, pleasant surprise. I just flat out loved How to Train Your Dragon 2. This, for sure, is in my top 5 favorite movies of the year, and it quite possibly might be even in my top 3. So, what exactly did I love so much about this film? Well, something that the sequel does that the original did really, really well is create a great world. And I think the sequel tops the original in creating this amazing place for our characters to exist. The scenery is gorgeous. The different places that Hiccup travels are just beautiful. The ice sculptures that are created here are gorgeous. These new lands. And the ocean, the water, just looks so real as the dragons fly right over the water. And it's just amazing to look at. But again, much like in the first film, some of the absolute highlights in this movie are the flight scenes. You feel as if you are with Hiccup and Toothless as they fly through the air, and it's just vibrant and joyous as you're bouncing on top of the clouds and falling through the sky with them. It feels amazing. You are completely immersed in those flight scenes, and they continue to be such a joy to experience. And again, I think it even did these things better than the first film, and that was some of the biggest highlights the first film had. So, the scenery is gorgeous, the flight scenes are awesome. The movie also is really, really strong in character development. We really get to understand all of these characters better, especially Hiccup, and his relationship with his father, and as you might have seen in the trailer, with his mother as well. And she also is given proper development, as well as his father is given some nice development. So overall, I thought the characters are so well developed. Even the minor characters are given a lot to work with, a lot more depth added to them, and they get to work off each other really, really well. There's a lot of funny moments with our backup characters that added some comic relief, which was well made at times. But the voice cast, so fantastic. You completely forget who these actors are, even though they're so famous. Most of the actors are back from the first film, and much like in the first film, they were able to create those characters then. Who remember that Kristen Wiig is voice in this film? I didn't, not while I was watching it, that's for sure. But Cate Blanchett is the new addition, and she just seamlessly worked her way in. But along with our human characters, the dragons in this movie are awesome. So of course, Toothless is still our star. He is the emotional anchor of all of the dragons in the film. We get so attached to him, and we love Toothless. But he is so cute, and he ups the cute factor a lot in this film. And he's even given his own character arc, and I really love that Toothless is treated as an actual character in the film. He's not just, the animal sidekick. No, he actually has an arc to his character, some problems in his character, and it's really great. And I thought they handled Toothless fantastically in this movie. But one thing I noticed is just how much detail is put into making the dragons. Their designs are awesome. These dragons look cool, and the alphas, the really big dragons that you meet in this movie, are amazing. They just look so fantastic, and you get a glimpse of that, again, in the previews and the trailers, but they just look so amazing on that big screen. But outside of just the design, I really paid attention to how they made these dragons act. I often have a problem when we make reindeer or horses or all these random animals just act like dogs. No, those animals don't act like dogs. Can we at least keep them somewhat relatable to the animal that they're meant to actually depict, just in animation form? And I think How to Train Your Dragon, at times, does have Toothless and some of the other dragons act very similar to dogs, but then sometimes they act like birds, sometimes they act like lizards. So it all just depends. They morph. They move with the situation. And something else I really appreciated, just like dogs themselves, each dragon has its own personality. They don't all just act the same. And I really think that's special. And it's something to be learned that just because we're all of the same species, even animals all have a very distinct personality to their own. And I think there is an underlying message that we need to protect, the dragons, or we need to protect intelligent animals and just animals in general on our Earth. And that message is kind of in the film. If we need to protect these intelligent creatures. I, of course, yay, vegetarian here, really enjoyed that message. And it wasn't laid on thick. That's what I enjoyed. They didn't shove it down our throat. It wasn't an animal activist movie. It was just something else there for us to experience. What made this film really stand out to me is its heart. It is such a mature film. It's not a film just for kids. And I'm going to actually get into that in a little bit in my negatives. But it's such a mature film. It deals with mature issues, and it's just an amazing story. This easily could have been a live-action film with the actors themselves running around and CGI dragons, and it would have been an amazing film. And that's what I think the criteria animated films should be judged by, is that can they relate to audiences above the young demographic, and this movie does that in spades. The end payoff is amazing to me. It left me on such a high leaving the theater. I was so excited for what it is that I just saw, because it left an emotional impact on me at the end. And I think that is just mature filmmaking. Really, everything was so well realized throughout the film that I was lost in it, and I thought it was just so well done. So yeah, I just really like the film. But I do have some negatives. Actually, it's just one overall kind of negative for the film. This is an animated film, but I actually hesitate recommending this film to small children. I think it has a lot of elements that children won't get, won't appreciate, and that I don't know I would really want to subject children to, if I'm being honest. So there's one particular scene that I'm thinking of is actually kind of scary. And I think it will be scary for smaller kids. I don't know that it'll be too much for them to handle. It's not like horror film scary, but it's kind of like, it's a little bit frightening for small children, I think. So that's something. There is some element of more romantic times, and I think it's not that kids can't handle that for sure, it's just that it kind of slows down the pace of the film to where kids might get bored exploring the relationships. I think it was a good choice to keep them in there because there's enough action throughout and enough of the grand scenes to keep kids coming back. They pull kids back, and there's enough comedy to keep it moving. I just think it might lose interest to smaller children in those scenes where they're developing characters instead of focusing on the dragons and the roar of it all. The final thing is, as I said this film does have an emotional impact. I'm not going to go any further into what that means or what that's about because it will be major spoiler territory. But these emotions might be even amplified in small children. So you have to be prepared to maybe have a conversation with your kids or answer questions about it as you leave the theater. Just know that there is heavy emotions in the movie. So, as I said, I might be a little hesitant to bring small children, and even if you bring a little bit older children, be ready to have some conversations, be able to discuss the movie and what just happened, because I think they'll have questions, and I think they'll want to talk through some of the things that they just saw. But overall, like I said at the beginning, like I said in the middle, and like I'm saying here at the end, I loved How to Train Your Dragon 2. I think this film is amazing and one of the best animated films I've seen in a very long time. It's so seamless. It's so well realized and well done from every aspect I just loved it. So I recommend it to everyone. Just be cautious with kids. I say still bring them to the movie. They'll have a fun time. Just be ready to talk. So go see How to Train Your Dragon 2. You will not regret it. I love you all so much for watching my videos. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.